Happy Tuesday. You are listening to Real Talk with Karen Stacy live on MiamiMikeRadio.com. And today is, I don't want to say it's Shitty Tuesday, but this is for those of you that aren't in New York. I'm in New York and I live for the sunshine, and I know I live in the wrong place, but the weather has been so crappy here. I mean, I do understand that we could be getting snow, and I'm grateful we're not getting snow, but like the dreary, cold, rainy, ugly days, they make you feel dreary, cold, and it's not cool. So I'm trying to get some good positive energy vibes going today. So I need you guys out there in the audience listening, and we are live on Miami Mike Radio, so you can be listening on the radio. And if you also want to jump on, I am on Facebook Live under the Karen Stacy page. And so I don't know, you guys hear me talk a lot about the whole, like, I get stuck with Plan B a lot, okay? So what happened? Okay, so what happened is that, the show must go on. This is show business, and you plan out shows, or you at least try to know who's going to be on the show, and then life happens. So I wanted to do like a Dear Abby, like a Dear Karen instead of a Dear Abby thing today. Because I get a lot of people that will message me privately and ask me for, advice. So I figured it would be kind of cool to do it, on the radio, and, people could ask me whatever they wanted to ask me. But I guess it's a little unnerving for most of you. So no one really wants to talk. So I think they want to listen, and maybe they want advice, but they just don't want it in a public forum, I guess you would say. So I do like to interact with you, and I do like to give the audience what they want to hear. So that being said, if you don't feel comfortable, email me, private message me. And you can be anonymous. I don't have to say, Mary Jo, from Bubblefuck, Buffalo, wants to know, how to have a threesome. We can just, you can be anonymous, and we can talk about whatever, and we can discuss that. But it's just kind of fun to get that, because, I mean, don't get me wrong, I always have stuff to talk about, but I like to have like your viewpoints and what you want to do, so that, I can get a little bit of feedback going, back and forth. So here we are at Plan B because, I had a couple of callers, and one of the callers, I send love, his dad was not doing well. So we had to ixnay on the call-in say there. And so I have a bunch of stuff that we're going to just shoot the shit with. And I have my favorite rock star, John Toglia from Who's Your Daddy? And every time I say that, I want to just spank somebody. He is a dear friend of mine, and when he saw my post that I was looking for people to call in, he reached out and asked me if I wanted to have him call in. So I was like, of course I want you to call in. And this, of course, was before, everybody else, everything else didn't work out. So, it's the show must go on, and here we are. So happy Tuesday, and I don't know, this is what happens, a real show. So somebody just sent me a message saying that I'm not supposed to post my videos on Facebook or something. I don't know, but it timing, everything in life is timing. And you know what? I'm posting my video, and you know what? Somebody shuts it down. They shut it down. What am I going to do? Right? You guys are here. You're with me. It's all good. I would love to call in. Yeah, well, and thank you. Hi Jamie, how are you? We like to kind of do the call-ins. I like to know what I'm doing before I start the show, so I don't just start like, randomly making phone calls. But let me do some quick shout outs since I have a minute. Of course, Karen can't see, so let's see. All right, what am I gonna do here? So who do we got going on here? And I can't go up too far. So Jennifer, Joseph, Joe, Leanna, Lori, Christine, Lisa, Maurizio, Tina, Tony. Thank you guys for tuning in. William, Carl, Louie, Rob. What's up, Rob? My boy Rob. There he is. Nina, how are you? Tony, Gabe. Steven's on. That's all. We got to get Jessica's on there. Elena, Michelle. Hello, everybody. Joseph. I got Joseph Paese taken down from the daddy duty. You're here. Hey, Rob G in the house. I love it. All right. I am going to call up one of my favorite rock stars. And we're going to shoot the shit a little bit. Let's see what we come up with. How's that? Are you guys ready? Because this should be interesting. Ooh, that's kind of loud, huh? Yep, we're getting to that, Steven. Don't take... Oh, that's your line, but I was going to say, don't take my lines. Look, now he's not going to answer the phone. How funny is that? Hello, Mr. Rockstar, where are you?
You have reached the voicemail box of 91.
Is that the funniest thing ever? Hello, where are you? We're doing the call-in. This is too funny. See, I can't make this stuff up. Your phone isn't ringing. Rob, I wasn't calling you. We didn't schedule that, but I could call you too. Cause I don't know where the hell John, I think John got stuck with his, with the freaking bird. Maybe Steven, this must be why John is undateable, because you can't even get him on the phone. I'm glad, Tina, that you're laughing because, all right, he said to call back. You ready? Oh, you can't make this stuff up. This is what happens when there's no editing available. Did you answer the phone?
Is this the world famous Karen Stacy?
Where the hell, if it's the world famous Karen Stacy, where the hell are you when I call you live on the freaking air?
I'm sitting in my living room.
Oh.
And I just see missed call, and I'm sitting here with my headphones, and I'm like, did I just miss the call?
There you
Hysterical.
go. That's why Steven says you're undateable. I can't even get you on the goddamn phone live on the air.
I was just talking to Steve 20 minutes ago, and Steve goes, make sure you let everybody know that I invented the word undateable.
Absolutely.
I said, I don't have to let everybody know because Karen will let everybody know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I did just say that, actually, because I said, don't take my line. But I said, well, actually, that's not my line. That's your line. So I think I did clarify that. How are you, John, now that I yelled at you for not answering the phone? Whoa, what the hell was that? Everybody's ears just broke. Was that the goddamn bird?
That's Ringo.
Ugh. Ringo.
That's the world famous Ringo, who shouldn't make noise right now.
No, you tell him. I don't know. Between you and Ringo, I think maybe we should try this again. I'm only kidding.
You know what? If I didn't work so late tonight, I would have been in the studio. I told you that.
I know. It's all good. We're good on the phone. I'm sure everybody can hear him just fine. So just in case anybody doesn't know, I have John on the line. He is with Who's Your Daddy? And, one of I would consider a dear friend of mine. I happen to be a big fan of the band, and I've been on hiatus, so I haven't seen anybody, but I still love them nonetheless. So how the hell are you? Because I haven't seen you in a long time. Oh my God. Shoot the bird.
Karen, let me tell you, I am extremely busy.
Okay.
Extremely busy with real work, not my hobby job, which is Who's Your Daddy, but real work. I've been extremely busy because I'm working on some projects and some stuff and things like that. So the winter's been very busy for me, which it usually is not. But, we played for Vinny's birthday in January. That was the one gig we usually do in January. I don't book a lot in the winter because of the weather and stuff. But we're lucky. We've had no snow.
I know.
I mean, the listeners have to be happy about that.
Well,
at least the New York listeners.
Right, exactly. I just was saying that too, like when I was complaining that there was no goddamn sun. And, you know, it is true. We could be inundated with snow, and that would really, you know, that would suck. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm good for like a snowstorm. But of course, the only time it snowed was when I was doing the benefit for my brother so that nobody could come. Other than that, it hasn't snowed. So, and it literally snowed for like 8 minutes. And that was just the time that we needed to get everybody where they needed to be. But you know what? The Mother Nature works and the universe works in mysterious ways, right? So
it's true. Very true.
It is what it is. So now you were talking about your regular job. Just you know, for anybody listening that might not know what your regular job is, what is it that you do?
Oh, I work for IBM. I'm an executive technician for IBM at the Learning Center, which is their school, and I try not to let any of my fan club know that they think that I'm still a rock star, which I'm not. I'm washed up.
Right,
you know that.
I was going to say that's what you said when the first show we did. You said I'm a washed up rock star.
I definitely am. Yeah. But like I said, I've been involved with some stuff going on there and some projects and stuff. It's been interesting.
Okay.
But like I really, the funny thing is like. I reached out to you because I really just want to, like, I miss music. You know, I miss, in the winter when I don't play a lot, I go see a lot of my friends and I go sit in and jam. But I miss, like, the whole summer thing of everybody getting together. And, like, I see you way more in the summer than I ever see you in the winter. In the winter, I think that, like, you moved to another country. You know, if I didn't hear you on the radio.
Well, yeah, and actually I could move to another country and you would still hear me on the radio because we're worldwide.
Exactly.
So it's possible. But no, I just, you know what? And this was one of the things I even wanted to talk about. I've just kind of been home, you know? And so, like, you know, is it better to stay home and not go out? I mean, I don't know that the weather has much impact on me because, you know, I've gone out, me and my girlfriend went out in a freaking snowstorm, goddamn blizzard. We took a cab because we didn't want to drive because the weather was so bad, but we still went out. So, you know, I mean, if you have the desire to go out, you know, I don't really think it's like anything else, right? You could, when you really don't want to do something, you could completely talk yourself out of doing it, right? Like, oh, I can't. You know what? The weather's not good. Oh, I'm going to be late. Oh, you know, this. And you talk yourself in and out of it, right? So.
Exactly.
What, I mean, but I see you. I just saw you posted like 8,000 different pictures. You were in like a bunch of different places, with, you know, seeing other bands playing stuff. So you're out, no?
Yeah, you know, Saturday night, I went to go see House Arrest, my good friend Joe Mark's band, and they played at Pete Saloon, and they debuted a new lead singer, and the lead singer is an old friend of mine, and he sings in Snap Ahead, Doug Palmer, and he sang with House Arrest, and it's a completely different music than Snap Ahead, because Snap Ahead's a heavy rock band,
right?
And Doug does all that stuff great. He sings in that Aerosmith band, Get Your Wings. He's Steve Tyler in that band. So he was singing Bruno Mars and pop stuff, and it was great because I got to see a different side of him that I know the guy 25 years, and I can't believe that he was singing all this cool stuff, you know. We had a really good time, and they had a big crowd. It was a lot of fun. It really was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. See, I mean, so you get out. I mean, I like I said, I really haven't been out too much. My out has been like me and my dad going out and usually my son and you know, drinking a bottle of wine and, you know, eating like a gavone. So that's been and we just try and, like, that's our favorite thing, just trying different restaurants, you know, and such. So that's kind of been my thing. But yes, I mean, I do, you know me in the summertime. You posted a bunch of pictures. Actually, I think they're on my wall because you tagged me in them. And you posted all those pictures from the summertime, you know, and I'm half naked and you posted them all over Facebook, but that's okay.
Hey, listen, do you mind?
It's all good.
I had 100 musician friends of mine saying this Karen Stacy's hot.
Oh, see that? Thank you. I needed to hear that. I'm going to be the big 5-0 in another 2 months. So,
Hey, listen, join the club. Jump in. The water's fine.
Yeah, you know what? But you're not a woman. When women, like after 30, you got to walk on your hands for everything to be in the right place. I mean, it just sucks.
Oh, boy.
It just sucks.
So, I got to tell you, my mother said to say hello.
Oh,
I told her I was going to be on the show.
Tell Mom I said hello too. She's such a
Mom's a lot of fun at the club, isn't she? When she came to the gigs,
she is. She's definitely a sweet. She's such the mom. It's so funny.
Oh, without a doubt. My God,
it's so funny. There's a very fine line between Jewish mothers and Italian mothers. Very fine line. Very fine line. I think the accents are just a little bit worse on one end or the other, depending. But otherwise, it's really about the same thing. It's hysterical because she's like, she was like doting over you and stuff. It was really cute.
My mother has always been my biggest fan. It's kind of funny. It really is.
Isn't that the way it's supposed to be, though? Geez. I mean, you gotta.
And listen, I see you with Noah, and it rings true. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what? So I believe somebody's got to believe in you, right? So if somebody believes in you, then and it could just be one person, but as long as you have a little, some of us, everybody needs a fan club. So as long as somebody believes in you, think of all the things that you could accomplish. If everybody could believe in everybody, think about what a great place the world might be. Could you imagine?
You're right. You're right. Listen, support is a big thing.
Yeah.
You talk about it a lot. I hear you talking on the show with different things.
Yeah.
When you have a support system, it's easier for you to get through complex problems or even simple problems when you have a little bit of a support system, whether it's your family, your good friends, people around you. It could be people you work with. It's a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of us try to be strong and say we don't need anybody, but I don't think that runs true. I think we all need people. Everybody needs somebody, and some people aren't fortunate enough to have people, or people have hurt them. So therefore, they don't want to be around other people. So it's a really, it's one of those things, right? But I definitely think that we need a support group, and just knowing that you're appreciated, knowing that you're cared about, I think it goes a long way. That's just, how I feel. But yes, I mean, your mom is adorable. So hi to Mom. And so just to remind everybody, you guys are listening to Real Talk with Karen Stacy live on MiamiMikeRadio.com. And my guest tonight is I don't know, are you my guest? What are you? You're my caller-inner.
I'm your call-in for a little while.
You're my caller-inner. And so now, so talk to me, because you were I know you had said you wanted to talk to me about a couple of things, and my thing tonight was that I kind of wanted to turn the tables around and let people talk to me about what they wanted to talk about, as opposed to me talking about what I wanted to talk about. So this is your big moment, John. I'm going to let you speak.
Oh, listen, with both of us together on the show, which has been a couple of times now,
right?
It's hard for you to get a word in edgewise, but I love you, so I let you have the word in edgewise because I recognize you as the hostess with the mostest.
Oh,
you know what
thank
I mean?
you. Right, thank you. Okay.
So, but listen, I got to ask you a question.
Yeah.
You mentioned the word gavon before.
Yeah.
I need to know. You had a couple of gavon boyfriends in a row last year, like a couple in a row. I want to know what's going on in your life with either gavons or normal guys.
Okay, so let's
put you on the spot on your own show.
Yeah, well, wait, and so I need to clarify this so that I don't have like 100 people saying whatever. So when he's saying, explain what you mean by gavon boyfriend, please, so that I don't have hate mail coming in.
Listen, Okay, I pull no punches with Karen. I love her to death. And I use the word gavone very in a loving way. When you grow up in an Italian family and you're from the Bronx, I was born in Misericordia Hospital. I know a lot of people know where that is. You know, it's like I moved to Westchester as a young kid, but my family was always in the Bronx.
Uh-huh.
And you hear that word a lot. And the funny thing is, when you meet a guy that's from the Bronx or even from Brooklyn, Brooklyn's a big thing too. You know right away where they're from because they got that ooh and oh going on. Like, I was just discussing this with a friend of mine on Sunday for the rock and roll brunch I went to, which I will talk about later before I get off.
Okay.
But guys from Brooklyn, when they see you, they go, hey, like Fonzie. Hey, like how you doing? Hey,
yo.
When you're from the Bronx, you do it opposite. You go, oh, yo, what's happening? You know, we have a different hello than the Brooklyn guys, even though the accent is similar.
Yeah.
But when you're a gavone, you use both of them freely. Trust me.
Okay. Well, that was not the way I would have described it, but okay. So keep going. So when you say my gavone boyfriend, clarify for the listeners.
I see you with these guys, these Italian guys, and their accent is way worse than mine. And they never stop talking. You never stop talking, but these guys never stop talking. And they're just chiacchierone away. That's a word that every Italian should know. And even if you're not Italian, it means like the Jewish word would be yenta.
Right.
Right? So you're chiacchierone away, and you're not getting a word in edgewise. And all I see is the guy's hands moving, and he's talking to you a mile a minute. And I said, who's this new gavone boyfriend she's got?
Right. So, and so to be clear, it's a joke. It's not my boyfriend.
It is a joke. It is a total joke. Believe me.
It's not
I'm playing with her and trying to make her laugh.
And so actually,
I'm sure some of you on the air will relate to it.
Yes. Well, actually, one of the first one that you saw me with was Michelangelo Prisco, who, you know, he sang, you know, Frank Sinatra. And
he was the singer.
He was the singer, and him and I did a couple of gigs together before he moved away. And I think he was the start to your gavone boyfriend, you know, thing.
Comparison.
Right.
Yes.
And then there was somebody else, I forgot who you said, there was somebody else that I was hanging around or whatever, and I don't remember, you know, what that was, but yes, that you like to lovingly break my balls about that because, see, but I just attract people like that. What could I say? I mean, I look for people whose accents are worse than mine, so people think mine's not that bad. See, there's like a little thing there that I do, you know?
Listen, even my mother called you the nanny.
Yes.
She heard it right away.
Yes. And you know what? It's so funny because when the nanny came out, my family was like, oh my God, Karen, like you have to get on that show, you know, and blah, blah, blah. It was really funny. And now I saw that she's going to be on Broadway. My father was like, you got to audition for that show. And I was like, oh my goodness. But yes, I know it comes from everywhere. But yeah, I don't have a gavone. I just have my little man that is my world. And you know, listen, you know me, John. As much as I'm an open book, my private life is private. So you know,
I know. I know that about you.
Yeah, I don't
you.
do that because you know, it is what it is. And, you know, so I think that, you know, sometimes, you know, people are going to say whatever they're going to say anyway. So, you know, what difference does it make? Right. I mean, you know, right. I could be, you know, people probably think now that I have 12 gavone boyfriends because you said it, and God bless me if I do, you know, but, you know,
you are truly one of a kind the way you describe things. I thought I was, you know, that I had a good descriptive point of view, but you're funny as hell. Let me tell you.
Well, I appreciate that. Well,
it really is.
To know me is to love me.
Oh, you don't have to tell me that. Believe me.
That's it, because it ain't easy. That ain't easy. But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to ask you, what's going on with the club this year?
I don't know.
With the VIP?
No clue. Didn't
okay.
get that far yet. I don't have that info for you.
Okay.
Yeah, so not really sure. So now wait, what's going on with you though? Because I mean, I was going to give you a little, I'm going to go back and forth with you. Okay. So like, okay. I'll let you have a little and then I got to have a little bit. So now what's up with you? Because the last time that you were on the show, we were talking about dating. And like, where are we now with that? Because
here we go.
Yeah. So, well, you know what? You just put me on the spot and asked me about my Gavon boyfriends. So now I'm putting you on the spot.
Okay, I'm going to tell you. Let's just say I am a guy who has many admirers, whether they're secret or not.
Okay.
But doesn't go out with anybody. Seriously.
Okay, so
I really do not go out with anybody.
Because
it's really funny. I mean, I go out with friends and go here and there, and I go play. If I'm playing and I've got music going on, or I'm going to see somebody or whatever, there's always friends I'm hanging out with. But as far as me actively looking to date somebody, it's just one of those things I could hit or miss on. Believe me. Because, and I told you this a million times, you know this about me, I meet people almost every weekend when I'm playing music a lot.
Uh-huh.
Interesting people, not so interesting people, attractive people, not so attractive people. But when you're in the public spot and you are friendly and open, which I feel like I am, I really am a public figure and promoting the band and giving out stickers and all the stuff and telling them about the schedule and talking about stuff. I really let myself stay open in that area on the shows and things like that. But you know what, Karen, in all honesty, when I'm to myself in my private life, I really am to myself in a lot of ways. I really am. I'll promote the band on Facebook and I do some fun stuff and interesting things, and I'll post it and post the pictures. But, as far as me getting overly excited about anything going on, it's few and far between. Let's just leave it at that.
So,
and it's funny because I talk to friends of mine, female friends of mine, and they're like, I can't understand how you don't have somebody in your life. And I said, it's really by choice in a lot of ways. It really is. It's one of those things where I can't call it selective dating because I really don't go on a lot of dates. I'm going to be honest with you.
When was the last time you went out on it? Yeah, when was the last time
we were talking?
Right, when was the last time you went out on a date?
A real date? Oh my God.
No, a fake one.
I can't even remember a real date, tell you the truth.
Okay, well, how about a fake one?
Well, there's been, like I said,
I'm only kidding.
I have plenty of girls that are friends of mine that I go to dinner with and stuff like that, and they're friends for a long time, and you can leave it at that. But as far as anything that I know can go somewhere, it's not going,
Well, but you just kind of like put a period on the end of that sentence. And what I mean when I say that is, you said, it's by choice. You're out, you meet people, you have admirers, but you kind of choose, not to or whatever. It's kind of like I was talking about this. I don't know if it was last week or the week before. And I was saying, it's like, the law of, a body in motion tends to stay in motion. A body at rest tends to stay at rest. And I think that so many of us that are, older and have our own lives, you kind of become a little more sedimentary like that, right? Because, it's kind of like the effort that it takes to do all of that, it's like I'm saying to myself, I'm like, oh, like there was something going on Saturday night I thought I wanted to go to. And then I'm like, okay, I have my bottle of wine here in the house. I have my food. And I don't have to get dressed, put makeup on, and go talk to anybody. I'm good. And I'm like, this is not like, sitting on the couch is not quite, the way to, to meet people. So I feel like, when I say a body at rest tends to stay at rest, once you kind of like get to the point where you're almost, I don't want to use the word disgusted because it's not the correct word to use, but you get, although maybe you are disgusted, but I mean, it's kind of like you just get to that point where you're just like, it's the effort isn't worth the reward, I guess. Would that be right?
Yeah, and then you become complacent. You get complacent with a lot of things,
Right.
Listen, one of the things I learned about getting older and still having to be on 10 on the weekends, with me, having a full-time job with a lot of hours and a lot of responsibilities.
Right.
And then you go, then Friday, your next life comes into play where sometimes you're playing on a Friday night and a Saturday night. You have to keep going. You have to put yourself into overdrive.
Right.
So I find myself, I need to have a routine where I know I have to get rest, but I try to stay as active as possible to try to keep myself moving in a sense, like on the weekend, I get up, I get up 5 every morning in my work life. On the weekend, I want to sleep late, and late would be 7:30 for me. But
the hell out of here. 7:30 is late?
That's late for me because I get up 5 every day.
Still.
But I find myself getting up on the weekend sometimes, and I get up 7:30, and then I find myself getting motivated. I know that I got a gig later on. Let me get going here, and let me get to the gym, and let me get to do this, and let me, I feel like there's no rest period for me, not even on a Sunday.
Right. Well, and you have people on the feed are talking about Ringo because they heard your bird screaming at us a couple of times. So so I don't know about birds. I mean, do you pet? I know you said he's like got a personality and a half. So like when you're home and you're chilling out, is the bird like sitting on you? Like what does the bird do?
No, the bird is, he's got his cage. It's open. It's on the other side of my living room. And he on a night like tonight, if I wasn't on the phone with you, I have like a little TV stand, like a perch that I put on the coffee table, and I'll stand them on that. And he'll be in front of the TV, and I'll interact with them. And
how do you interact?
Treats, and I train him.
How do you interact with the bird?
I pet him and talk to him. He chatters
back.
Pet him.
You can pet the bird.
Yeah.
And he doesn't.
Oh, I handle him. He doesn't bite or anything. And if you get to know him, he'll respond to you when he gets to know you.
Okay.
He really is very friendly in a lot of ways.
Okay.
He could get scared if there's a lot of people around, but he really is. They're very people friendly. They're very interactive and people friendly.
I don't know. I'm like, like I gotta like smush them, touch them. I gotta do. I gotta tell you that. What you like, you were saying how you like to try to, stay busy, and get motivated. Now, first of all, for you, on a weekend to be up at 7 something in the morning, my kid could have the freaking house on fire, and I would be like, "Are you serious right now? It's 7:30 in the morning, like no way, So I hate being awake in the morning, and I'm up every morning, obviously with my son. On the weekends, 7:30, get the hell out of here. I'm like, if you even think about waking me up at 7:30 in the morning, he's older now, so he's not going to burn the house down. But I have found, and there was, a lot of different things going on. I've, had a lot of stuff happening, and, always have to give myself like some downtime. And I think Massimo put it on the comments. He called it me time with quotations. And, you know,
Right.
I kind of, you know, we're so, you know, programmed to be productive, right? And
Exactly.
so I noticed though that I always try to have that little bit of downtime, you know, in the middle of my day. You know, my day surrounds, you know, my child and everything I have to do for him and the house and all that. So I try to give myself like an hour or two that's like my downtime. And, you know, at one point over his break, you know, I had a death in the family. You know, it was very difficult. And I said, a body emotion tends to stay in emotion. A body in rest tends to stay at rest. So,
Right.
you know, I was not moving, which was bad. Right. But then afterwards, I was like, okay, back to the grind, get moving. And then things started happening. And then one day goes into the other day, goes into the other day. And then life happens. And then this, and then that. And then I noticed that I have like this angst because I didn't get that chance to just sit down and decompress. And believe it or not, I can't sleep at night like that because I can't unwind, if you will. And then I'm up and I'm thinking about all of this stuff and I'm like, I got to do this, I got to do that. And then I'm saying to myself, the other day I was like, oh, maybe I'm drinking too much coffee. Because, you know, my son would say to me, Mommy, how'd you sleep? And I'm like, you know what? Not good. And he's like, but Mom, you've been saying that like all week. I'm like, yeah, maybe it's the coffee. And then I cut back on that and I still couldn't sleep. And I was like, what the hell? And I realized, you know what? I need that downtime. And the worst thing is my puppy. My puppy gets on my lap and it's over. I do nothing. The minute she gets on me and snuggles me up, and now she does this new thing where she gets inside of my sweatshirt. So like I try to put clothes on her, which she don't want to know nothing about, but she wants to be warm and she wants to be in my clothes. So she gets underneath my sweatshirt or whatever I'm wearing and she lays down there. So I have a little warm body all snuggled up on me. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm not getting anything done because I'm not moving.
Oh, that's funny.
Because I love this so much. And, you know, but I've noticed, actually just this week, I noticed it. And I said, you know what? My soul needs that. I need that little bit of, you know, downtime. And I thought to myself that I was like in a funk. I thought to myself, you know, that I was lazy. I was being lazy. And then I was like, and I even saw a meme on it somewhere. And I was just like, you know, this is me. This is what I need. So I see people on the feed are telling us that we need to do yoga. So that you're not the first person to tell me that. Steven is going off on yoga. He said to tell you yoga. What is this an undateable joke?
That is definitely an undateable joke. Let me tell you something about Steve.
Okay.
All right? I grew up with Steve. He's one of my best friends in the whole world. We played hockey together, grew up together, same neighborhood. Steve only goes to yoga to look at hot chicks.
No, say it isn't
That's what he
so.
does. I'm blowing up his spot.
Say it isn't so.
Steve goes to yoga for the chicks. That's what he does.
See, so I guess what they say about yoga pants is true then.
It is true. That's all I hear.
That's all.
Listen, and I tell him all the time, hockey players don't do yoga. That's my joke for him. But in all honesty, I would love to try it because a lot of people say that it's great. But I still go to the gym 3-4 times a week. You know what I mean? So it's like, where am I going to fit the yoga in, Karen? You know, where am I going to fit that in?
Well, you know what?
So,
I mean, maybe, you know, don't sleep until 7 o'clock in the morning when your day's off and you get another hour in right there. You'll be good.
Oh, yeah, sure. Sure.
I'm only
But,
kidding.
you know, like, but you know what I'm saying. It's all the other stuff that comes with that kind of schedule. Like, I'm not busy now, but when the summer comes, you know what it's like. You know, I'll be playing on a Friday night, a Thursday night, or a Saturday night, you know, and that's it. You know, it is what it is. That's what happens.
Yeah, see, but
I've accepted this lifestyle all these years. I mean, I'm playing music. It's crazy. It's like almost 35 years. It's nuts.
Well, you know, and most people that are in the industry, when they don't have to, I mean, I had Lisa on the show a couple of weeks ago, and she was saying, like, you know, when she's not working, the last thing she wants to do is go out. So, you know,
Lisa, yeah. I heard some of that.
Yeah. So, you know, and that's the whole thing, is that when you always have to be on, quote unquote, on, and anybody that's not in the business that doesn't understand what that means, on means that you got to be on, you got to be ready. Like,
oh yeah,
you know, like if we have a bad day, you know, and you're stressed out. I mean, look at what happened to me with the show today, how everything went upside down. I can't come on here and you know, like, I still got to give it my all because the show got to go on. So John has a bad day and he's got to get up on the stage. He can't be banging the freaking, you know, bass around. He's got to play and he's got to bring his energy, you know,
you got to put a smile on your face, bring your A game, and entertain people. Those people are coming there to see you. They're paying to see you. People are coming to eat dinner there or whatever, have drinks.
Yep.
And like I said, in the winter when we don't play a lot, I mean, we played New Year's Eve, and then we didn't play again until the 25th of January for Vinny's birthday party. Okay. So a lot of our friends were waiting for the show.
Right.
So that gig had to be a good gig. You know what I mean? We had to put our smiley faces on, and everybody, you know, we played and we had a great time, and it was a good turnout. But you know what I mean? You have to bring your A game to that.
Right.
You know?
Right. That's what I'm saying. So sometimes, you know, it takes a lot, you know, to bring your A game. And let's face it, dating is bringing your A game, you know, capitalized with an exclamation point, right? Because especially now, right, since we're all adults and we don't need anybody in our life, if you're going to go out on a date with somebody, you got to bring your A game. You got to be on, because guess what?
Sure.
Now at our age, we're freaking done. After like a 10-minute conversation, it's like, okay, I'm bored and I could be on my couch with my glass of wine and I could have my puppy in my sweatshirt right now. Not you.
Right. And you know what it is? You know, when you have a pet like this, like the bird, they need a lot of attention, but he's kind of good because he knows my schedule and my routine. So he knows what time I usually get home from work. He knows what time, you know, the lights go out for bedtime. On the weekends, it could be anything. But when I put that guitar by the door and I got to go out to a gig, he reacts right away like a kid. He's staring at the guitar at the door. He's chattering away. He gets mad. They react like children. It's pretty funny.
So,
you know?
Stephen, not to interrupt you, Stephen just wrote that I give up on dating. You all are undateable. Oh, look at that. So now, John, you're not in a class of your own. Now we're all undateable. But see, now that's an interesting point, Stephen. You just said you give up on dating. Everyone is undateable. So there you go. That goes to my point. So when John was talking about the fact that he has admirers, but he doesn't actually, you know, go out, you know, and I was saying how on Saturday I was supposed to go someplace, but, you know, who wanted to get up and get dressed and try to look presentable. You know, it's quite difficult because, you know, we get like you set in our ways, right? So, you know, like
complacent is the word.
Thank you. That was the word I was looking for. You know, and that's what ends up happening. So now it takes a lot to get you moving, you know? And so, yeah, I mean, I don't, and it's bad because I keep saying to myself, life isn't happening on the couch, but, you know, it actually is happening on the couch. So, you know, it's a hard, oh my God. And that was Ringo. That was his bird screaming at us again. My God, everybody's
what's
ears.
The matter, buddy? What's the matter, buddy, with these noises that he's making, you know?
Funny. Does he want my attention? Hi, Ringo. How are you? I'm sorry. Well, I don't know about birds.
Here's another thing you need to know about, Karen.
Okay.
Besides music being, of course, my first love.
Yes.
My second love would be the New York Rangers, and they're playing tonight. and I have to warn you about this and the listeners. If the Rangers score a goal, you will hear the goal horn go off in my house.
Okay.
I have the Budweiser goal horn that's programmed on the network that when the Rangers score a goal, the goal horn will go off, and it will scare the crap out of you because you don't know it's coming.
Wonderful.
So I have to warn you, if they score while I'm on the phone with you.
It can't be worse than Ringo screaming in my, because I have the headphones on, so I don't know how bad it sounds on the radio, but I can tell you that in my ear, I think I've gone deaf at least 3 times from the time that he screamed at us. So thanks, Ringo. Much appreciated.
He's kind of quiet now. I gave him a couple of treats, so that's a good thing.
Oh, Polly want a cracker?
Yeah, almonds,
Almonds, okay.
Almonds are his thing.
That's always a good thing. Well, I know there are a couple of people that jumped in on the feed and just want to give some shout outs to everybody that's listening and talking. I know they're jumping on. Well, no, I mean, we'll go through. Some of our listeners are listening. I think everybody's kind of laughing at us. Let's see. I think just everybody's kind of, in agreement with us. Some people are just tuning in now. We welcome you to Real Talk with Karen Stacy. We are live on MiamiMikeRadio.com. And on the phone, I have John, a washed up rock star. No.
You can just do it like that. It's all good.
A self-proclaimed washed-up rock star. No, John is with Who's Your Daddy, and he is a dear friend of mine. And, we're shooting the shit a little bit today. I was supposed to...
I am a veteran of the show.
You are. You're, as I call them, repeat offender.
Yes, that's what I am, without a doubt, a repeat offender.
You're a repeat offender.
It's really funny.
So, yes, but now what else has been going on? Because, I know you had some stuff going on one of the last times we spoke, and you were very passionate about, things going on. And, what is there anything you want to bring to the table?
As far as band stuff, I mean,
band stuff.
So
one day,
or life stuff.
Yeah, one day. What was that? One day at band camp.
Yeah.
One day at band camp.
I gotta give a little plug here.
Go right ahead.
Real quick.
Go right ahead.
About the Sunday Drum Wars brunch I went to at the Cutting Room, and if anybody's been to the Cutting Room, they know it's a unique club in New York that has live music. I mean, the chandelier, you can go to my page on Facebook, and the chandelier is guitars and stained glass.
How
like real
cool.
Guitars.
That's
it's
really
amazing.
Cool. Okay.
In fact, I'm going to post it on the Real Talk wall. So
yeah, sure. Or post it on our feed right now.
I'm just telling you that it's an amazing club, great music. And I don't go to these rock clubs like during the day to see a show, like the smaller ones in the city. So here we go to this Drum Wars brunch, and I'll explain what Drum Wars is.
All right, wait. Hold on. I got to interrupt you, though. So now, this is... so this is in the city. This is when you say a rock. This is a rock club.
Yeah, this is a club where they have live music and a stage and lighting and food. There's a whole full menu. And it's 32nd and right. It's on 32nd Street, right off Park Avenue.
Are there men
in Manhattan?
Are there guys there with long hair?
Plenty of them.
And you didn't bring me?
There you go. You're in now.
The hell, man!
They have a lot of different acts and a lot of different bands, and it's a great venue to go see music. You know what?
But not to interrupt you, I'm sorry. I haven't heard about a place like that. Do you remember back in the day, there was Johnny Rockets, there was CBGBs, and it was a different crowd because
the Mercury Lounge.
That I never went to.
Yeah.
I never went to that. But see, it was different. Like, that was like a rock club, but it was like you would get like it was, how do I word it correctly without sounding wrong? It was still like it was more of a classier place, for lack of a better, although CBGB's not so
Right.
much. That was a little bit, sketchy. But, like to go to places like that, a lot of times now they're more like biker bar-ish, and
Yeah.
not that there's
Yeah.
anything
This
wrong
isn't
with
like
that. Right. It's just
This
it's
is
a
classy
different
setup.
Yeah, it's just different. And a girlfriend of mine was talking about it. That's all.
Yes, the Rangers scored.
The Rangers scored. That's all. Does that happen if you actually score in your house too?
Oh, Karen, stop it.
I couldn't help it.
I know you couldn't. I know you couldn't.
How funny would that be if you actually had a date and you were having sex and you hit the freaking thing?
And the horn goes off, yeah. There you go.
You know what? I'll just amuse myself, John. I don't even need you. I'm good.
I know you can. I know you can.
That's a whole other show. All right, so you're
This
downtown.
is a classier rock joint.
Okay.
So you know.
Okay.
So this drum horse thing, two of the greatest rock drummers that are brothers, they're both from New York, Carmine Appice, and Vinny Appice calls himself Vinny Appice, is his younger brother, which they didn't explain why they pronounced their names differently, but that they're two brothers from Brooklyn. Carmine Appice played with the Vanilla Fudge, he played with Rod Stewart, he's played with Ozzy, he's played with everybody, and Vinny played with Ronnie James Dio and Black Sabbath and a lot of other rock bands. But they set up two drum sets and they play all this heavy metal.
Okay.
And the guitar player was my buddy who I've played with and who worked with me at my studio, Artie Dillon. And a lot of people know who Artie is. He's a younger guy, great guitar player. He's got this gig. And he played all the Sabbath and the Ozzy and all the stuff, and it was great. So we went down 10 of us, and we're all musicians, and we had a great time. But the funny thing is getting up to go down the city to see a show like this that's loud rock with two drummers at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and have brunch.
That
So
is
there you go.
that is kind of like an oxymoron, right? Like
Exactly.
Yeah, that is
Exactly. It's unbelievable.
That's kind of an oxymoron.
So that was my Sunday afternoon, and we had a really good time. And you know Joe, my buddy Joe Mercarella from House Arrest, he was there.
Uh-huh.
And my buddy Rob Servideo from One Wild Night, the Bon Jovi tribute band, he was there with his two sons that are both drummers. So we had a really good time. And I got to give a shout out to my buddy Frank Petrarca from Midlife Crisis. He's the guitar player. He was the one that got the tickets and had the idea. Let's all go down as a group and surprise Artie and go see him.
That's
so
very
it was good.
cool.
We had a really good time.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it was really cool.
And the next time that you're going anywhere where there's going to be a bunch of men with long hair and loud music, you better remember your freaking friend over here. Hello.
I will even pick you up and take you down there, Karen. How about that?
I appreciate that, considering that you don't drink and I do, so you can drive.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
everybody knows I'm everybody's designated driver. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Well, that's not such a bad thing. It's good though, because it's very difficult when you are in the bar scene, work-wise and stuff, and you drink. If sometimes it's very easy to have that one drink too many, and then it's not such a good thing, when you're in the public eye. So it's probably a good thing that you don't drink, to keep your decorum and composure.
I'm watching you on the feed now with the volume down. You actually look nice tonight.
Oh,
you clean up good.
Oh, why? Thank you. I thank you so much. I didn't actually clean up at all. No, I'm not kidding. I'm just kidding. Yes, I did. I actually showered before the show. Go figure. Yeah, I did.
So that was my Sunday, was rock and roll brunch. And usually on Sunday, I really don't like to do much. I mean, Sunday I try to have a day of rest and errands or whatever I got to do. You know what I mean?
Right. I get it. I mean, you got to have, like I said, you got to have that little bit of downtime, to try to balance it all out, because, but honestly, I mean, you're not, right now, you haven't been doing that much, right? Because you've been, you haven't been doing your gigs.
Yeah, like I said, we don't book a lot of stuff in the winter because of the weather, and we do the one gig in January because it's Vinny's birthday. We usually do one in February, but this year they didn't want to do it the President's Day weekend, so we kind of passed on that. And then in March, when St. Patrick's Day comes, I always play that gig at the Ramblin' House down the Bronx for St. Patty's weekend, March 14th.
Right.
So that's where we'll be for the next gig.
Right.
So and then like in April, we start to get busy in April. So.
Okay. Well, I mean, listen, all good, and you got to keep, like you said, you got to keep busy. But I mean, we talked about when you were on the show the last time. I talked about us doing, like the dating game. Like I still want to. I'm ready
to bring that up.
Okay, let's go.
Because my birthday party. Vinny has tried to do this every birthday party that I've been single. Obviously, in 15 years of Who's Your Daddy, I've been in relationships on my birthday party or whatever. But Vinny, knowing that I'm single this year, him and Sheena they really plot stuff. The two of them are in cahoots, the two lead singer things.
Uh-huh.
But I'm telling you, Vinny is going to come out with some kind of contest. I'm telling you, I'll be surprised if he doesn't text you about it.
I was going to say, tell him to call me. We'll do it.
Win a dream date with JT. It's going to be one of these stupid things that he conjures up, He
needs to step back because we talked about, I have to get him on the phone. Luckily, he's working right now. I'd call him right now. Like, I'm all over that. We talked about doing the dating game. Tell him to get his own freaking ideas. Now, when is your birthday?
It's, my birthday is April 22nd, but the show is April 25th at Mickey Spillane's in Eastchester.
Okay, so you're the week after, right after me. I didn't realize you were, you're 4 days after me.
And the funny thing is Sheena's is April 27th, so this year we're doing our parties together like we did last year, so it should be fun.
That's
but Vinny has come up with this idea. Like one of the first years I joined the band, Vinny had an entire questionnaire you had to fill out in order to get the date with me. And he had all these questions on there that would have blown your mind. It was hysterical, And they were all funny questions like, have you ever taken karate? Like all these stupid things. Do you do yoga? He was like,
Again with the yoga.
All I call it Vinnyisms, like how many shots of what's that cinnamon? Fireball can you do before you fall on the ground? Like stupid stuff like that.
Uh-huh. Okay. Well, we gotta work on that though, because we were gonna do a dating show, and then I have a girlfriend of mine that we were talking about doing that as well. So I have to put that together. I have to figure out how we're gonna do that, because I think that would be absolutely hysterical. So, but the problem is...
I told you a long time ago you were meant for that game show host.
Yeah, right. Like the Gong Show. I just gong everybody. All right, you're done. Out.
Yeah, I could see you doing that.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we have to figure that out, though. But you know what the bad thing is that everybody's so goddamn picky that, I mean, like, I would love to know, like, the rules of that actual show, because what happens if... you don't like the person that you ended up choosing. Like, then what?
Then you got to be a good sport and go on the date, I guess.
Is that what happens? I don't know. Like, do we have to make you sign something? Like, if you think that if you're not
a disclosure agreement.
A disclosure agreement. I don't care whether you like them or not. You're fucking stuck.
That's you. That is you to the T.
I'll
tell you right now.
I'll give them. So maybe I could give them a bottle of tequila with the date they don't want to go on, because
listen, I'm sure you know some interesting people. Like 1 week we could have the girl dating game, and the next week we have the guy dating game.
Right. Right. Well, yes, exactly. But the problem is that everybody's so goddamn picky that, to find, let's say we're doing we need 3 single ladies and 3 single men. You know what? Finding 3 single ladies that one person finds attractive is like a needle in a haystack. Finding 3 single men that a woman finds attractive is like finding a needle in a haystack. So like you're already fucked from the start because nobody likes anybody. So
I'm telling you, I'm throwing Steve's name in the hat because he invented the word undateable.
Undateable.
So he's got to be in.
Yeah, he's got to be in. Okay. Yeah, it's true. I mean, it really does just become like, you get to that point where it's just like, forget it. It doesn't even matter, right? I mean, and that's kind of like, I think where everybody's at right now. I mean, look, Steve said he undateable, and he said this is why. He just can't, he doesn't want to deal with it. So I think there are a lot of people out there that just don't want to deal with it, right? And I guess that's why you get all of these like keyboard daters, if you will, like the people that are on these dating apps, but they don't actually meet people. So you develop like a pen pal relationship because they never have intentions of actually meeting the person.
Yeah, but what's the use of that? I don't understand that.
I don't know. Maybe they got nobody else
reverse.
to. I don't know if it's like social anxiety. I don't know. I don't know what the.
Or it's the reverse where you're on these dating sites, okay? And I've never been on any of these dating sites, which is hysterical. But I know there's a lot of women I know that are on it, and like my cousin and family members I love, which is hysterical. My joke, and especially with my good friends, my joke is, did you meet the next serial killer yet online?
Yeah, you know what though? But look, that's old school thinking, John. Get your freaking
I know it is. I'm making
yabba
a joke.
dabba. Get your yabba dabba do out of there now, okay? Yes, it was that way, like Craigslist and stuff. Yes, they were gonna chop up your body and have little pieces buried underneath their house.
Oh, boy.
Absolutely. But now it's just a bunch of jerk offs. You got these women that are in like Guatemala, that are trying to get their visa, or the men too. How many talk shows have you seen? I watch these things. I feel terrible watching these things. You see them on like, Dr. Phil or something. And
right.
Like this woman gave this man that lives in like Nigeria and like $200,000, and they're supposed to meet. He's a doctor. There was a problem with the paperwork. There was a this, there was a that. So they do it in another country, or they do it in your next town, because I've heard similar excuses from people. I not any longer, but from back in the day, I heard the same type of excuses, like, I just, can't get out to see you now. I have car problems. I have, this problem. And I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. So, but this is what happens now, is that you got to be smart, because people start asking you, they ask you for money, and everything, like, are you kidding me? All right, now what are you doing? You're making so much noise, John. If it's not the fucking bird or the horn going, what are you, washing dishes?
I had to go into the kitchen and throw some shit away that he threw on the floor.
I just said, what are you, washing dishes? What are you doing over there? I know. But
no, but I understand what you're saying. There's a lot of scams and stuff like that. You know?
Yeah, but you know what? The truth of the matter is that the scary, well, not scary, but I kind of thought, like, I was old school too, right? So I'm like, online dating. Like, first of all, that's for fucking losers. Like, why can't you just go out and fucking meet somebody? But
exactly.
Yeah, but that's not true, because I mean, it's not being a loser. Years ago when I was really on the apps, I actually met a couple of people that I'm still friends with now. So, me and that bird, get that bird on the phone. I got to talk to him. I got to talk to him. Ringo, enough, all right? This is the Karen Stacy show, not the Ringo fucking Star show, all right?
I love it.
No, but, and look, he's answering me back too, John. You see that?
He's answering. He can hear you.
He's answering me back. That's a fresh bird you got there. No, but I mean, it's true, and it's hard. But now, honestly, if you think about it, it is really a great thing to try to meet people on the internet, because you can meet people that you wouldn't normally meet because maybe they're not in your actual, like, you know, radius, if you will. But it doesn't always work out that way. But the funny thing is that there's always 6 degrees of separation right now. So, you know, if you end up, you know, let's say on Facebook, right, you see the mutual friends, there could be, even if it's 2 mutual friends, at least there's somebody that knows that person. There we go again. Ringo's on the fucking move.
Right.
No,
I get you.
You know, and at least they know the person. But it is now. See, he's getting fresh now. He's getting fresh. You know what? Everybody wants Ringo to come on and talk to me. Let's get. Does he speak at all? Does he talk?
No, he just makes weird noises.
He just yells at everybody.
He's still young. Yeah, he's going to yell, and you know.
He just yells.
He's trying to get my attention because he knows you have my attention now.
Huh.
You know.
Well, now I know why you're undateable. Now I know why you're undateable. Your bird won't allow it.
Oh boy.
Your bird won't allow it. That's it. He wants the attention. All right, Ringo, I'm sorry. You can have Daddy back soon. I apologize. Everybody's getting a kick out of him. I got to tell you, it's you know, it's all good. All right.
Listen, he's a fun pet when he's well behaved.
Right, right. Like I have friends like that too. When
he was so funny.
When they're well behaved, sometimes it works, right? Well,
listen, Karen, I say it all the time. I tell you all the time. I just want to meet somebody that's nice that I could just go to dinner with and has similar interests. You know, it's the same story with everybody. Listen, I have a lot of interests because I'm an artist, I'm a computer geek, I'm a sports geek. I got a lot of interests. Right. You know, so there's got to be somebody for somebody. You always say that.
Of course. I believe that.
But it's you have to find somebody. You know, we're talking about this and online dating and all this other stuff. You have to find somebody with similar interests. You can't meet somebody and they say, "Oh, I like movies," and then you want to go to, say, a movie that gets nominated for an Academy Award, and that person doesn't want to go see that movie.
Right.
You can't say you like movies.
Right.
You know, say you like certain movies. Say I want to see a romantic comedy. Say whatever. But you can't say you like going. You can't say you like going out to restaurants and you like nice wine. You like this, and then you say, "Let's go to Harvest on the Hudson." Oh, I don't like that restaurant. You know. So where do you go from there?
Right.
This is a guy talking to girls now. Where do you go from there when you don't have similar interests? You just, what do they call it now when you stop calling?
Ghosting. Right.
Yeah, they all have words for all this bullshit
now. Yeah. You know? Well, that's different, though. Ghosting and not calling are really 2 different things. Ghosting is disappearing. So when a guy or a girl, for that matter, just, you know, doesn't get back to you, you know, that's been going on since the dawn of time. But it's more, ghosting is when you actually, you know, have like somewhat of a relationship. I don't know if that's the right word, but you have something and you are communicating all the time, and you have something, and then all of a sudden they just, like, it's like they're a ghost. They just swipe themselves off. So that's what it means with that. But you know what I think is the issue as well is that, see, we're not 20 anymore, right? So when you're 20 or, you know, 25, whatever, you know, whatever age you want to say, younger, right? So when you're younger, and like, for instance, my husband loved to play pool. I do not like pool. I could care less about pool. So I would, you know, so like he would want to go play pool. So I would go with him and I'd sit there while he played pool, but I liked it because he liked it. And so, I mean, like, I didn't like it. I tolerated it. I sat there because that's what he enjoyed doing. Now, as we get older, it becomes less and less easy to do things that you don't enjoy, right? So now it's like, maybe you'll do that for a little bit. I mean, me, I don't care. I'd sit at the bar and you know, drink. So that wouldn't be an issue anymore. But I'm just saying that I think that it becomes different because we're older now, right? So it's not like you know what you like and you know what you don't like. So if somebody wants to see, like you said, like, you know, I try to be open, but yeah, like if somebody wants to go to a certain restaurant and I know I don't like that restaurant, I don't like the food, or I don't like what they serve, I don't want to go, you know? All right, Ringo,
Right,
you could
right.
come too. You know, so
And then you know you got to find compromise in everything.
right.
You know, you have to if you want things to work. If you like the person,
Right.
you know,
Well,
that's what it is.
how do you find out if you like them? See, that's the thing, is that I think everything in life has become so hard. It's like difficult to do anything. Even I'm trying to see a friend of mine. Every single day, there's a reason why it doesn't happen. So because life gets in the way. It shouldn't be this freaking difficult. You're 10 minutes from me. Like, why is it so difficult for us to get together? So this is what happens. Life gets in the way. And we're all, you know, and so that's where it becomes, why is it so challenging? You pick up the phone. That's the other thing. Phone calls, right? That was something I wanted to talk about. So do you talk on the phone, John?
To you, yes.
Well, good answer.
No, listen. It's more and more difficult to talk on the phone to people. Not good friends or family or people you interact with every day. But when you meet somebody, nobody wants to talk on the phone. They want to text and think that's communication. This is the biggest bunch of horse shit ever when you want to meet somebody. Seriously.
Well,
how do you get to know somebody if you're not talking?
Right. And
Am
that's,
I right or wrong, Karen?
well, and that's, I mean, texting is the best way to ruin a relationship because, you know,
Sure.
if you don't hear, you know, the tones in the voice, you don't hear the inflection, you know, I mean, and look, I am guilty of texting myself because sometimes I just literally do not want to hear someone else's voice. I don't want to hear my voice. You know, I just don't. And then, you know, or for me personally, a lot of times I'm doing a couple of things at once. So especially if my son is around, my son doesn't hear me when I tell him that he has to wash the dishes. But if he's upstairs in his room with the door shut and I sneeze, he'll scream down, "Bless you." So, you know, when I'm on the phone
And there you go.
and I'm talking to somebody, I could be locked. He's in his room with the door closed. I go in the bathroom, close the door, and I'm whispering, and he still hears my conversation. So it gets a little
wow.
bit, yeah, I know, because he's got to know everything. I don't know where he gets that from. But, you know, it gets difficult. So sometimes it's not the easiest thing to talk on the phone. That being said, you can't form any type of a relationship with anybody without physically speaking to them. So if, you know, obviously the goal would be to physically be with them. But if you're not physically with them, you have to physically speak to them on the phone. I mean, you know, where were the days of being, do you remember like falling asleep on the phone? You know, like because it was like 1 o'clock in the morning and you didn't want to hang up because you wanted to be close to that person. And
Sure.
you stood on the phone and it's like you look at the thing and you're like, holy shit, we've been on the phone for 4 hours. And,
Right.
you know, like there's something to be said for that. I don't know. I guess I'm just a hopeless romantic. But like, you know, I look at it like, you know, that's so awesome that you would want to, you know, talk to somebody for that long of a period of time and not want to get off the phone, as opposed to now with the texting, where the thing I hate about that too, with the texting, one of my pet peeves is, you know, like you're texting somebody back and forth and then all of a sudden, now you don't have an iPhone, but those of us that have iPhones, we know that, you know, like if somebody's texting back because of the bubbles or whatever. And
Yes, you know that they're reading the text.
well,
and
you
receiving
can
it.
see that they read or received it if they have that setting. But
Right.
if they're typing back, you get the little bubbles. So you know that they're
Right.
responding to you. So, you know, you're texting back and forth with somebody for an extended period of time. And then all of a sudden, you're like, you don't get a response back. and you're like, what the hell happened? Now, I don't know, something on their end, maybe they got a phone call, or, maybe they dropped their dinner on the floor, but you don't know what is going on. All you know is that you have radio silence now. So if you're on the phone with somebody, you say to somebody, I got, give me a second, or so they know my phone just clicked. I got another phone call. Let me call you back. But when you're texting with somebody, very rarely is somebody considerate enough to do that. I mean, especially if you physically get a phone call, it becomes a little more challenging. You have to put them on speakerphone and say, like, give me a second. I got a text. I was just texting with John. I want to let him know that I just got a phone call. But, that doesn't happen a lot. So a lot of times if you are communicating via text, all of a sudden you think that nobody, you're like, what happened to them? And you could be like right in the middle of something, and then you feel, yeah, Jennifer, crickets. It's true. And she said,
that's Jennifer, right? That's funny.
Yes, and that's what it, crickets, and it's so true, and that's how you feel. You're like, and yeah, Jennifer said something that you just made my heart. You took me back to a time. She said, who hangs up first? So you remember, that's what we were talking about. Yeah. And it's so true, right? At 1 o'clock in the morning, it's like, no, you hang up. No, you hang up, and yeah, I mean, I guess, again, I'm a hopeless romantic, because that's what it's all about. And something so simple, right? Like just being on the phone with somebody for 3 or 4 hours, and it makes your heart happy. And finding, as somebody else wrote on the feed, companionship, even with friends, isn't it difficult at this point in time? Have you made new friends, John? Like, do you make new friends often?
Friends and acquaintances, it's a thin line with me, because when you're in the public eye and you're in public places and people introduce you to people, you're the guy on stage in the band.
Right.
So you have to be like, hey, how are you? I'm this. Oh, I just Facebook friended you. Oh, that's great. I want to know when you're playing again. Oh, that's awesome. Blah, blah, blah. Listen, I'm a guy with a million friends, and a million really good friends, but that comes from my relationships through music and playing with guys and hanging out with guys. And, music has, spawned my whole life in a lot of ways. But when I do meet new people and get introduced to them, and they come see the band, or they talk on a social level, it's nice sometimes, because it's refreshing in a way, because you feel like they want to get to know you because you're different. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a different thing.
Yeah, but you know what? If
you could understand.
I do understand, but it is a little bit difficult, I think, in my opinion. It's very difficult to make new friends as you get older, because...
I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, because we are more, and especially like you said, in the public eye, you're more, on the offense at that point, because... you never know what somebody's intent is. Do they just want to hang out with you because they want to be with the band? Do they just want to hang out with you? Do they want to become your friend so that they can get into a gig for free? Do they just want to hang out with you because they think that, because they're a groupie, or, they're going to be cool? So it's a really, it's a tricky, thing. And I think, but even if you're not in the public eye, I think that the listeners right now would say too, it's not easy to make new friends, because although we think that we can see, like, of course, certain things, of course, we can see red flags right away. But a lot of times you really don't know somebody until, you spend a certain amount of time with them and interact with them, because people's actions are what actually matter, right? Because a lot of times you have people, they say all the right things, but their actions do not mimic their words. So you don't realize that until you see it. And we're all want to give people, at least I always want to give people benefit of the doubt. So when somebody, somebody says, I'm going to call you, and then they don't, and then they're all over Facebook. And then when you do speak to them, they tell you, I didn't feel good, or, I was going through this, and, this and that. And you say to yourself, okay, well, you have, you can't pick up the phone and call me, or you can't text me, you can't stay in contact with me, but yet you're able to be all over social media, or, you were out with this one, or you were out with that one. So, actions speak. So, when somebody tells you, I was thinking about you, I just couldn't, you want to give them the benefit of the doubt, right? And you want to say, okay, I get that, because if I tell somebody that, look, I'm sorry, I haven't been in touch in a couple of days, honestly, my head's been kind of up my ass. Like, I've got a lot going on, and, I'm sorry, I wasn't around, but I mean that, and I'm genuine and sincere about it. I think people think they're genuine and sincere, but I think in the long run, they really aren't. At least that's been my, what my experience is. So I think it's very difficult. It's easier to meet people and to become friendly with people, but I think I have to do it with from a distance, right? Because you really don't know what these people are capable of. And if you open up that door, then what? Then they might actually push the door in, and now, where are you?
So we talked about ghosting, right? And people disappearing or whatever it is.
Right.
Okay. I'm a guy that cannot do anything like that.
Right.
Because when I'm playing somewhere, everybody knows where to find me.
That's true.
With Who's Your Daddy playing, there's 4,000 people on Facebook that know where I'm playing.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
And all of that crap with guys playing games and sneaking around and running around and blah, 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 whatever it is, that somebody like me can't do that.
That's
I can't
true.
disappear. How am I going to disappear?
That's very true.
It's not an option for me.
That's very true.
And
that's funny, because you would have like some psycho girl sitting there like,
I've had psycho stalkers, maniacs, serial killers at gigs. I've had it all.
Did anybody slice? Did anybody slice your tires?
No.
I'm only kidding.
I'm not that bad of a guy.
I know. I'm only kidding. But you guys are listening to Real Talk with Karen Stacy live on MiamiMikeRadio.com. And we are talking to John Toglia from Who's Your Daddy, my favorite washed up rock star. No, I'm only kidding. And we also have our co-host Ringo on the line there. So if you hear...
And there we go, Karen. Another goal for the Rangers. You're good luck tonight, let me tell you.
Or you have the Rangers. See, I'm all about scoring. That I'm serious. That would be hysterical. If we ever did like a show like that, we would do the dating game, and like I'd have to, like they do the reality TV shows and they follow you with the camera and stuff. So like if you go back to your house and you guys like get it on.
Next thing you know, you see the goal horn going off.
The goal horn gotta go off. I would pee myself. That would be the funniest thing ever. Now, if you ever have sex in your house again, you're going to think of me and you're going to wish that horn goes off.
You're just such a maniac. You're so great.
That's hysterical, though. I'm telling you, I have this vision in my head.
Are you ready for this?
Yes.
And as I'm listening to you, my Facebook feed is coming up and stuff like that. And I got you muted, and I'm watching you talk with your hands. You're hysterical, And all of a sudden, I see this post, and it's like one of those black memes with type over it that says, "Welcome to Facebook. If you're not already friends with a creepy stalker, one will be assigned to you."
There you go.
All my girl friends, my female friends, this is perfect. This is absolutely perfect. I'm going to get T-shirts made up like that. One side is the Who's Your Daddy logo. The back side is that.
You should have who's your stalker.
Yeah, exactly.
Who on the front? You have who's your daddy. On the back, who's your stalker. There you go.
Exactly.
See, it's catchy because when you see, either way, it goes good with the smack. Who's your stalker? Who's your daddy?
Exactly.
It goes good, you know.
Exactly.
It still goes with the smack, so it goes in. It goes well. I really got issues. I don't know how, you know, and you seem to bring them out in me too. I'm only kidding. So wait, so now let's talk about the fact that it's gonna be Valentine's Day. Oh, the joys.
Oh boy.
Oh, the joys.
What is my Valentine's Day gonna be like?
Well, you're gonna have Ringo's gonna yell at you, and hopefully that fucking goalie thing is gonna go off.
You're crazy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Friday night's Valentine's Day, and I could care less, in all honesty.
Uh-huh.
My Valentine will be my mom, because I will call my mom and wish her happy Valentine's Day. And she'll be so happy because she thinks it's great, you know.
Wait a minute, you don't send her flowers or something?
No, she gets Godiva chocolate, my mom.
Oh, okay. So you send her something for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good job.
And then you know, then I'll call my sister Christine. You know, I always do that. And you know, it is what it is. This is it. Valentine's Day doesn't matter. Friday night, whatever it is, it is. I'm working 100 hours this week, so Friday night I'll probably be exhausted. But then Saturday night I have a host of friggin' gigs to go to because my friends are playing a bunch of places, and I have to go out Saturday. I have to force myself to go out Saturday night, so that's what I'll wind up doing.
Yeah,
I'll go to a couple of gigs on Saturday night.
Well, I found it interesting because I've seen stuff like, you know, advertised, and it was like some stuff was like you know, like anti-couple, you know, it was like a single, you know, thing. And then, you know, of course, other things are, you know, couples or whatever. You know, how do I usually say sometimes I screw up and say Halloween instead of Valentine's Day. And I said that always, not just because I'm single now, but, you know, I always, for some reason, I would mistaken it. Instead of saying Valentine's Day, I would say Happy Halloween. So, you know, and I just think that, I don't know. I mean, it's like with everything else, Valentine's Day, it's the Lover's Day, whatever. Okay, so let's all love each other every day, right? And if people loved each other and were kind to each other every day, then there would be no need for Valentine's Day. As far as I'm concerned, if you are a couple and you go out on Valentine's Day, the service is going to suck. You know, they're going to rush you in, they're going to rush you out. The food is probably going to suck because, you know, they're mass, you know, they're cooking for so many.
They're looking to get you out of there. And it's a Friday night this year.
Right.
So you talk about a
double whammy.
About a shit show.
Double whammy.
It's going to be a shit show.
It's a double whammy. So, like, you know, I was even thinking about that. Like, I figured, you know, maybe my father and my son, you know, we do something. And then I said to myself, there's no way in hell I would go out on Friday. There was no way I would go out on Valentine's Day. The only way that I would go out would be, which sometimes we do, is if I got my son, you know, like from school and we did like an early dinner. Then I would do that because they're not going to rush us and it's not going to be, you know, like you said, a shit show, you know, because there's nothing worse than going out. I'm like a food snob. Like I like good food. I'm picky. You know, I like good food. I like good drinks. I like good atmosphere. I don't like to be rushed. You know, there's nothing worse than spending money and not liking what you just had or did. Like, I can't stand that. So, you know, I don't know. For me, Valentine's Day, if, you know, even if like, you know, I had, you know, and who knows, you never know. I mean, there could be somebody out there that's madly in love with me and hasn't professed their love to me. So I could be on a mansion or a yacht on Friday. We'd never know. We can't say for sure. So if radio silence, you know that Prince Charming has stolen me and taken me far, far away.
Oh, boy.
Hey, why not? I told you I was a hopeless romantic. But yeah, I mean, for anybody out there, sometimes these days can be very, they can be depressing for people. So I just want to tell anybody that's listening right now, do not get depressed over a non-fucking day, okay? It's Valentine's Day. It's a bullshit day that Hallmark created so that they could make money. And I mean, I guess there is a Saint Valentine, right? Is there like a real thing?
Yes, there is a Saint Valentine.
Okay, so there's a Saint Valentine. So so Saint Valentine declared that everybody that people that are in love need to buy each other things. Is that what he said? Is that what Saint Valentine said, John?
Okay. According to Wikipedia, Saint Valentino or Saint Valentine is a widely recognized 3rd century Roman saint commemorated in Christianity on February 14th. So from the High Middle Ages, his saint's day is associated with Valentine's Day. So there you go.
Okay, so we have a saint, and how does that have anything to do with like being of somebody's Valentine? Did I miss that? I mean, you just read that. Did I not comprehend that correctly?
Well, he said to have ministered to the faithful Romans that were becoming Christian. He was said to be a minister to protect Christians that were being killed by the Romans. The persecution of the Christians. He had something to do in saving them.
Okay, so that means, okay, so again, maybe, I need to go back to school, and I'm certainly not a historian, but what the hell does that have to do with guys having to buy girls flowers and chocolate?
He was martyred on February 14th in AD 269. So
still not following.
He was honored as a Christian martyr and a saint. So it is probably a made up Hallmark holiday.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm not following where that comes, where the chocolate and the flowers and the diamonds.
And Ringo's agreeing with you,
yes,
by the way.
Thank you, Ringo. I knew you would end up liking me at some point, Ringo. I'm gonna go to your house. We're gonna do the show. I'm gonna have Ringo and I'm gonna talk to Ringo. I'm gonna get him to answer me. We'll get him to talk, maybe. I think if anybody could teach him how to talk, the two of us could do it together.
That'll be funny. That would really be funny.
Yeah, well. That
would be really funny.
But yeah, so anybody on Friday, don't get yourself twisted with this whole Valentine's bullshit. It don't matter whether you are, you know what? Love yourself. And if it matters, go buy yourself chocolate. I got to say, I never bought myself, I don't think I did. I don't think I ever bought myself like flowers or anything like that. And I want to say like maybe a month or two ago, sunflowers are my favorite flowers and they just make me smile. And I bought myself flowers. I was at Trader Joe's. I was food shopping and they had flowers there. And I actually bought myself a bouquet of flowers, which I've never done in my life. And you know what? It was just as great because the flowers were in my house and they made me smile. So if you need flowers or chocolate or whatever, then go buy it so you have it and love yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, nobody's going to love you. So that's my my 2 cents.
Absolutely right.
That's
Karen
my Dr. Karen words of the day. Love thyself. No, seriously, love yourself. Happy Valentine's Day. Love yourself. Because if you,
I'm going to buy myself a new guitar on Friday. I'll make myself feel better.
There you go. I mean, I wasn't going that route, but okay, you could do that. Well, you do that and put like a red ribbon on it or something so that, you know.
There you go.
There you go.
So real quick.
Yep.
on Saturday, I got to give a couple of plugs to a couple of my friends that are playing on Saturday the 15th. Snap Ahead will be at Brewski's down the Bronx on Fremont Avenue, starting at 7:30, and they finish early at 10. And then also on Friday night at Rudy's, there will be a big metal show with the Fordham Baldies. That's my friend Bobby Devlin and his band.
Friday or Saturday,
babe? Playing the best of Black Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne. That would be Saturday night, the 15th.
Okay, you said Friday.
So there you go.
Okay, so wait.
Friday is going to be whatever you said. Go to the anti-couple gatherings. We got to find a couple of those.
Yeah,
Let's look
I
at
don't
the
know.
Facebook events, Karen. What
I
do
don't
you
know.
got?
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. So that everything you just talked about is on Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday the 15th.
Okay, there you go.
That's for those of you that like rock music and good rock music. Those are two bands you should see, without a doubt.
That's awesome. Okay, yeah, there you go. Well, now you see, you got your little shout out, your shameless shout out.
Yeah, I do that all the time. I need to give out some plugs. You know what I mean?
Listen, you know what? Why not? It's and that's...
Hey, listen. Another plug for Friday night on Valentine's Day. If you're having a Lonely Hearts Day, my buddies in FDR, that's Neil and Johnny and Marianne, they're playing at Brewski's on Friday night for Valentine's Day. I'm sure there will be a Lonely Hearts Club where everybody can go and commiserate and dance to FDR because they're a great dance band, and you can have a great time there. So there's your Valentine's Day hangout spot, I would say.
Or,
what do you think of that, Karen Stacy?
Well, I think that's great. Or you can just drink yourself into an oblivion in your own fucking house. That's what I plan on doing. No. I got some homemade wine today. I got to do a shout out to my boy Frank at Solar Escape. I was talking to him, and I love it. I'm there all the time, pretending I went away on vacation. And I think his in-laws make it, and he was kind enough to bring me in a bottle. It was a very sexy bottle too, I have to say. And
that's good.
Yeah, and so I actually had a little bit before, well, like when I had dinner, I made dinner earlier, and I had a little bit, and it was amazing. And it wasn't like normal. You know how when you drink, well, you don't drink, but if you do homemade wine, you could be speaking, and the next minute you're on the floor. Like, it's usually it's 1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 tequila floor. When you have homemade wine, it's like 1 down. Like, you're done. And I mean, and not that I did that, but I've done that, and I've had homemade wine, and I've had like a glass or whatever, and then I'm like, what the fuck happened yesterday? Like, I don't even remember. It's like a mind eraser. It's the craziest thing.
It's called getting mangled.
Well, no, it's different because there's something with the homemade wine that it does it. And anybody that you know that drink, come on, whoever's on the feed now, give me, back me up here, throw in a comment. Anybody that drinks homemade wine. Yeah, it's like a mind eraser. It's like you're fine. I call it the funky cold Medina too, but you just like, that's it, you're done. But this was not like that. But that's what anybody else should do on a Friday, on Valentine's Day. Never mind a Lonely Hearts Club. Just if you're gonna be a lonely heart, do it at home and fucking drink yourself and pass out like a normal person.
Oh, that's funny.
Yes, that's all. You can hire me for, your psychological needs. I'm here for you.
I see your future right there, Karen.
Yeah, I know.
I see the future.
I know. I see the future, too. I'm going to get sued in like 3 minutes.
Oh, God.
These are not the viewpoints of Miami Mike Radio. These are all...
No, they are solely of the host.
This is only in Karen Stacy's twisted mind, which should never be spoken in public. But hey, that's all right. I think we lost everybody too because the feed got quiet all of a sudden. I don't know, unless we froze.
Well, we're getting to the end now, right?
We are.
What is it? 10:00. I said I was going to stay on an hour with you, and I'm on the whole show. You see?
Well, you know what? That always happens with us. And the thing was that I had, like I said, I had someone else that was coming on, and unfortunately, he had an emergency and couldn't. And you, my right hand man here.
I always am.
Wow.
I always am.
That was me.
Yeah, I clicked you by accident, and you just,
Okay.
The volume came up, so I had to stop it.
All right. Okay. So I got to ask you, I'm going to do a funny thing right now.
What are we going to do?
Tell me 5 things that you always have in your house.
5 things I always have in my house. Okay. Food items, regular items? No, food items. It would be
anything.
Random, right?
Any 5 things you would always have. But yeah, I mean, yeah, like necessities. 5 necessities.
5 necessities. Well, 30 years ago it was beer, pot. No, I'm sorry.
Right. I know. Well, that's about where I'm at. Go ahead.
Now I got avocados, spinach. What else?
Oh, John, you're killing your whole rock star thing here. Come on, make it up.
Listen, man, I'm a reformed rock star.
Make it up.
I like to consider myself a healthy rock star.
All right, go ahead. Come on, give me 5 things. Let's go.
5 things I always have here, right?
Right.
5 things I always have. And listen, I'm giving you food items because they alternate all the time.
No,
so,
well, okay. Do you want me to start so that I can give you? You can follow suit. Do you want?
Yeah.
Me to,
let me know what's in Karen Stacy.
Let me lead by example here. Okay.
Okay.
So 5 things I would say I always have in my house. Number 1, espresso.
I have that too.
Okay. And I mean, I have to have like oodles of it or the world will end. Okay, so espresso, number 1.
We agree on that. I have that too. Go ahead.
Number 2 would be, my big fat Greek wedding where everything is the Windex?
Yes.
Okay, my Windex is coconut oil. So number 2, coconut oil. So we got espresso, we got coconut oil. Number 3, wine. Number 4, tequila.
I have that too.
And what would be number 5? I didn't get that far yet because see, look how simple I am. Number 5 would be alkaline water.
Oh, there you go.
That would be those are my things like water, espresso, wine, tequila, and coconut oil. Basically, the 5 things that I need to live. Otherwise, I could those things are good. So now your turn now. 5 things.
Okay, I definitely have espresso.
Okay.
I have sambuca.
Okay.
I have tequila.
Okay. I know, but you don't even drink. So when do you drink that?
I have guitar strings.
There you go. Okay.
Guitar strings, have to have it.
Okay.
And you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Gaffer's tape.
What the hell is that?
Gaffer's tape is stage tape that fixes everything. Your curtain rod comes off the fucking wall, you get gaffer's tape.
Okay, so that's not...
Your carpet slides across the floor and you got to tape it down. You tape underneath it with gaffer's tape. It's a lifesaver.
Okay, and
let me tell you.
You have a bad date, you chop her up into pieces, you tape it all together and throw it in the garbage, right?
Gaffer's tape always works.
Always works. Or someone with a big mouth, right? All right, so... Where are we?
I don't want to say anything to you that has to do with gaffer's tape.
All right. So where are we now? Was that 4 or 5? Where were you?
That was 5.
We got guitar strings, espresso. I don't think the sambuca and the tequila count because I said 5 things you always have to have in your house. You mean to tell me that if you didn't have tequila or sambuca in your house, you wouldn't be okay?
I don't know. The sambuca, yes. The tequila's optional now because I really don't drink anymore.
That's what I mean. So,
right?
There's got to be something that you just have to, do you drink coffee every day?
Every day.
Okay, so how do you drink it? You drink espresso?
I have It depends. I have an espresso or I'll have a latte. Either one.
Okay, so you got it.
Okay, I have to have the milk foamer.
I was just
gotta
about
have the foamer going.
That's what I was going to say. So you got to have the milk. So there you go.
I gotta have it. Yeah.
Right. Well, see, now I put the milk optional.
And I have almond milk. So
that's how I make my lattes too, with almond milk.
Almond milk is my necessity.
I put almond milk. And I also put coconut oil in my latte because coconut oil is very good for you.
I cook with raw unsalted coconut oil also.
Okay. Coconut oil can do everything in the world for you. You can moisturize with it. It's an antifungal, antibacterial. When I had tried to adopt this pit bull and it bit my kid, I didn't know what to do, and I put my hand in the tub of coconut oil, and I swear to God, I had a whole hand of it, and I glopped it on his head while he was like bleeding, and it coagulated it, disinfected it, and stopped it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that will do everything in the world for you. It really will. So if, don't take my coconut oil, but you guys can go out and buy your own. But, definitely virgin, unprocessed or unpressed or whatever it's called is always the best.
Yeah, that's the one I have.
You could do so much with that. I can't even tell you. See, even Ringo believes. Oh, Ringo loves me. See, I just saw you wrote Ringo loves me. I love you too, Ringo. You made a lot of noise today while we were on. I think you scared everybody away.
No, this was calm for him. Trust me.
Oh, I know. I'm only kidding.
This was calm for him.
I know. It's all good. I don't know what happened. We lost. We had our commenters, and I guess they all ran away from us.
Yeah, they've had enough of this conversation now.
They had enough. All right. That's okay. They didn't like the 5 things that you have in your house. Or maybe we lost them during Valentine's Day. I think that's what happened.
Yeah, that might have been it.
I think
that might have been it. I gave St. Valentine's facts, and that's what did it.
Listen, it's all good. It's all good. No, I'm glad that we kind of that we saved the show tonight. And you're in showbiz, so you get it. I was laughing because I had asked another friend if they wanted to come on. And I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to do a plan B right now. So he started laughing. And I said, this is like, what happens, right? We always have a plan B. And people don't understand that when you're doing a live show that, life happens and you got to roll with the punches, right? So,
you have to.
Right? I mean, you had a show, I remember one time, and something happened with I think it was your drummer, cut he had to get stitches or something.
Yeah, he almost cut his finger off.
Right. And then and did he play, or you had to get somebody else to play that day? I forgot what happened.
We got somebody else to play.
Right. and it was like last minute.
Right. Everything was last minute.
Yeah. And that's it. And people that aren't, in show business don't understand what it's like to do things last minute. So when you're doing a live show with no editing and you have no control over the fact that you had everything set up to have certain people on and they didn't come on, it's always a fun journey. But listen, we make the best of it, right?
We have to.
I think so.
We have to.
I had fun. I'm glad.
My Twitter following right now is saying, how come you're not commenting about the game? Where are you, Johnny Legend? I have to write on my Twitter feed that I am with Karen Stacy on Real Talk.
You know what? I mean,
which I did post that actually.
Not for nothing.
Is it still on my feed?
Ringo.
Yeah, it is. I posted the picture.
So there you go. Because Ringo wants your attention. Now they want your attention. I mean, Jesus Christ! No wonder you're undateable. Jesus.
Oh boy, here we go.
Listen, it doesn't work like that. You tell them I'm busy. I got, I'm dealing with Karen right now, and she's a handful.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. It is actually true.
Hey, listen, it's all good. Listen, we're having fun, and we're gonna celebrate, and you know what? Like I said to everybody, for Valentine's Day, if you have someone you love them harder. If you have someone or you don't have someone, then love yourself harder. It's all good. Don't get caught up on nonsense. John read it. It's a non-holiday, like I said. Hallmark created it. They're the ones that make the money, so don't sweat the small stuff. All good. I'll be your Valentine. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. You can tell everybody I'm your Valentine. Right?
I'm ready to tell everybody you're my Valentine, Karen.
All right, perfect. See, it's all good. Everybody's Valentine. So, when do you guys have do you want to do a shout out on when your next shows are, or did you want to?
Yeah, I could give a little update on what's going on with Who's Your Daddy.
Okay.
Who's Your Daddy will be appearing March 14th at the Ramblin' House in the Bronx for St. Patrick's weekend. They have a big party there. We do that party every year. It's a really good time. It's a lot of fun. That bar is always a lot of fun. A lot of drink specials and food and stuff like that. And then the next show after that will be my birthday show and Sheena's birthday show combined at Mickey Spillane's in Eastchester. That would be April 25th. And if Vinny has anything to do with it, it's going to be Win a Dream Date with JT night. You'll have to probably fill out some dumb questionnaire.
Tell Vinny.
But I'm not going to let him do it until he talks to you, Karen.
That's right. Tell Vinny he needs to. We got to get involved with that. Well, maybe we'll do that. We'll figure that out. We'll make that happen. All right. So that's in April, and then you got anything else coming up after that?
All the summer dates are kind of lumped together. I'll have them posted on the site because we're still working things out.
Gotcha. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, like I said, I made you laugh because I said, "What's going on with the VIP?" Because I called them and they haven't called me back yet. So.
Well, what are you gonna do? You can't be VIP all the time. What could I tell you?
And you know what the funny thing is? If it wasn't for all you guys at the club that love us, that are asking me, "Did you call them? What happened? What's going on?" I wouldn't say anything, but I got to blow them up now that I'm on the radio with you.
Yeah, well, that's you know what? I'm sure it'll come to fruition, and if I have anything to do with it, I will get on.
It's only the second week of February, so we'll see what happens.
I know, and so next week my son is off from school. And he is going to be my guest next Tuesday. So that will definitely be an interesting show. I don't know if you saw us. We did cookie baking a couple of weeks ago in a Facebook Live. And he was like such a ham in, that saying hello to everybody and doing the shout outs and stuff. It was hysterical. Everybody said he should have his own show. So that should be fun next week. And I'm looking forward to that. And let's see, anything else going? I think that's about it. So,
Listen, I miss you. We'll see each other soon.
I miss you too. So. And thank you for saving the day today. It was fun. We always have fun, right?
Please tell your father I said hello. I haven't seen him, and tell Noah I was asking for him, okay?
Yes, and send love to Mom and tell her I send my love too. All right, baby.
I will. All right, Karen. Thank you so much, hon.
All
Great
right.
to talk to you. I love you to death.
Thank you. I love you too. All right. Bye, Ringo.
Bye, Karen.
Bye. Oh, my God. That's so freaking funny with the goddamn bird. That was hysterical. Well, thank you guys for sticking with me. I know today I did not have my pregame with Steve, DJ Simply Nice. I missed him today. But hopefully next week he'll be back around. So don't forget on Tuesdays we have DJ Simply Nice is on at 1 o'clock. And then on Mondays, check out, let's see, who do we got on Mondays? We got DJ Paulie, the Portuguese Prince. If you want to check him out. So, we got Mike Mulata on the station as well on Wednesdays and on Sundays. So stay tuned because we have a lot of shows, a lot of good things happening here on Miami Mike Radio. And I just wanted to do a shout out and just say, thank you guys for tuning in. I realize that I feel like this is, like when you go on the airplanes and they say, we realize that you have a choice as to which travel that you want to take. And we appreciate your business. So I do appreciate you guys tuning in. I do realize that there's a lot of entertainment that everybody can watch on any given night, and I appreciate you spending your time with me and us or whomever it is. So I want to say thank you. And, happy Valentine's Day. Again, don't sweat nothing. It's just another day. Love yourself and the world will be a better place. Next week, I'm going to have my little guy on, and I don't know, like Steve says, peace, love. He says peace, love, and music and respect. Peace, love, talk, respect, all of that. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and sharing is caring. If you enjoyed the show, thank you. I see some of the comments. Good night, Chrissy. I appreciate the kind words. I want to say thank you again to John Taglia from Who's Your Daddy for saving the day for me today. And again, if you guys ever want me to discuss something on the show, even if you want to remain anonymous, that is fine. Private message me. You can email me, Karen@KarenStacy.com. You can email me there, and nobody needs to know who it is or who it's from. You can private message me, whatever you want to do. I'm happy to do that. I want to do a little bit more interacting. So please, reach out to me and we can talk about things. I try to come up with new ideas and topics and things that I think that we should bring to light. My job is always, in my opinion, to make you look at things in a different light. Because the only way we learn is by seeing things through different eyes sometimes, or different glasses, or different lenses, whatever you want to say. So I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in to Real Talk with Karen Stacy on MiamiMikeRadio.com. Come and check me out every Tuesday at 8 p.m. I love you all. Thank you so much. Good night.